All right, Bitcoin dominance on the macro. We're looking at the 3 month chart because we just closed that candle, right? So we don't often look at this high of a time frame for dominance, but pretty impressive. Noting all the way back here, always good times to think about how Bitcoin was like the only coin in crypto back in the early days before any of us got in. Then the altcoins starting to come in, right? Money diversifies, and just thoughts for down the line, like 5 years, 10 years from now, I would predict that this kind of finds stability up in 50 to 60% and just doesn't waver from that ever and becomes much less volatile over the years. So as it like the waves wind down, right, we could surely come down here. This cycle, come back up, down a little bit, but then like starts to just really be like a calm lake and just kind of oscillate 50 to 60%, 55 to 65% indefinitely down 5-10 years from now. So I think that'll just kind of hold the market, and altcoins will be obviously less volatile as well. I think this is probably the first cycle we've seen that's kind of showing a glimpse perhaps into what the future holds for crypto. Not everything like the Wild West, like these kind of moves when you get these 100x, 1000x moves in alts. Okay, there's last cycle. We still got those. This cycle's been much less, if at all. And even if we get a move down, it's not going to be like this move down or that move down, right? We're looking like best case scenario for alts, I think, would be like these high wicks. I've seen some people call for testing low 40s again. I think you're batshit crazy. Bitcoin dominance is not going down that low anymore. And I would be surprised if we really get down here at this point, just because of how, look at this. We've closed, these are 3-month candles, folks. 6 consecutive local high after local high after local high closes. If that's not impressive, I don't know what is. I don't know any other asset that could do that. Local high for 6 consecutive quarterly candles. All-time high. Not all-time high, but right, local high, local high, local high, local high, close, close, close. Impressive. Every time. More than last time, and much less volatile. Even though this is astronomically higher of an angle of attack, right? You could see that from that low wick to that high wick, very sharp. But look at the candles. Just wild every damn quarter, versus now much less, and just more or less just slow and steady up the hill from the low wick to high wick so far, right? You can see the angles there. So maybe that continues, maybe going into the end of the bear market, right? We come down here, let's pretend we do, like maybe we just continue to do this, right? And soften the angles, but still just until we get to that, my kind of prediction where we just kind of stay up here and just oscillate just a few percentages down the line. 10 years from now, just kind of hold up here and not do anything. Kind of looks that way to me based on this chart, but who knows? But looking at when are we going to see some alts move again? Well, we have a high wick set a while ago to the 786 perfectly. We held just under the EMA 34, but how can we not be bullish? And you don't want to predict anything too soon. The top could very well be in. Could we reject here? We sure as hell need to. We need to get a 3-month candle red for the first time in a while. Since July of 2023, right? This is kind of what started. We wicked up here, came back down and closed. We got a little bit of a reprieve in alts during these times, but not much. And that's why we haven't been able to do anything sustainable in alts, and why we haven't seen we would go berserk if we just see any one of these candles. We just haven't seen anything negative out of Bitcoin dominance, and that's why this cycle has been so different. Just look at the macro. It's right in front of you. How can you fade this yet? We can't. Per the facts, There's nothing. That's still a bullish candle. And now we have the MA8 on a quarterly chart crossing above the 21. Now, how can we hold that? Which we would definitely want to. Just a little bit of red here. If we can get back down to 58% to the 618 by even July, we're going to have a really good quarter here. If this is all red, we can get a red bar down here. Excellent quarter, and also would be kind of the 2-bar reversal potential where we could start the downtrend. Maybe have a green next 12 months, 4 candles in a row. That would be great. Is that likely? No, because of the facts in the charts. It's easy to think that, and maybe we do get that. Like, this is what we're needing. Like, just 3 reds in a row get us down to 50%, 48%, something like that. Between now and... But it's got to be red pretty quick here, right? If we're thinking the cycle is over roughly right in this area, that doesn't leave a lot of time for any more green. We need this, and we need it, like, to get going. Couple of weeks, sure, right? That's a blip on the radar in this perspective, right? From the quarterly candles, but from a quarterly candle perspective, we can't see any more green candles. If so, it's got to be like a doji on the way down. We want to be low 50s, high 40s, I would think, by here. That's pretty crazy. That means red from here on out, pretty much. So Bitcoin dominance needs to be wrapping it up if we want to see a true end of cycle euphoric phase, which we have, obviously not seen anything for over a year now, 14 months, March. Like February, March of 2024 was the last time we were even remotely happier than 2021. I mean, we got even remotely there, right? But we haven't seen that yet, and that was just from a little bit of a sell-off here, right? These little bit of volatile wicks. Imagine just one of these, how much that would go. That would go very well for us. The market would lose their damn mind if we just saw like a 6% red quarterly candle. Think of that. It's not even much to ask for, and it would seem like the best thing since sliced bread.